Wow, the AI world is just moving at a breakneck pace, isn't it? Right now, we're in the middle of an absolute showdown between two titans, OpenAI's brand new GPT-5.2 and Google's Gemini 3 Pro. So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down, the benchmarks, the real-world tests, to figure out which of these heavyweights is the right champion for your workflow.
So, how in the world did we get here so fast? Well, the story goes that just after Google dropped Gemini 3 Pro, which pretty much stunned everybody by grabbing the top spot on the leaderboards, OpenAI issued an internal code red. And this wasn't just some memo. This was an all-hands-on-deck, drop-everything directive to get a response out the door and reclaim the performance crown. And the result of that scramble? GPT 5.2.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It really puts the insane speed of this competition into perspective. OpenAI drops GPT 5.1 on November 12th. Just a few days later, boom, Gemini 3 Pro takes the lead. And then, not even a month after their last release, OpenAI fires back with GPT 5.2 on December 11th. We're at a point where the top spot in AI is being fought over not year by year, but week by week. It's wild.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to frame this whole thing like a championship fight, okay? With each round being decided by a key industry benchmark. This is where we see, in cold hard numbers, how these two models really stack up against each other. Ding ding!
First up, round one, professional knowledge work. We're looking at something called the GDPval benchmark, which basically tests how well these AIs handle real-world office tasks. You know, making spreadsheets, drafting reports, building presentations. And right out of the gate, GPT 5.2 lands a massive punch. It beats or ties human experts almost 71% of the time. That is a huge lead over Gemini's 53%, a decisive first round for OpenAI.
Let's just pause on this number for a second.
70.9%. Just let that sink in. We are now officially looking at an AI that performs better than a human expert on over 2/3 of common professional tasks. This isn't just a small step up, it's a massive milestone for using AI in our day-to-day jobs. All right, on to round two, software engineering. Now, the SWE Bench Pro benchmark is tough. It makes the AI try to fix real bugs from GitHub across 4 different programming languages. And once again, GPT 5.2 shows a pretty significant lead, scoring over 12 points higher than Gemini 3 Pro. If you're a developer, you know that's a huge difference. That's a knockout. Round 3 tests something that's absolutely crucial: abstract reasoning. This benchmark, ARC-AGI-2, is all about testing fluid intelligence. It uses novel puzzles that the AI has never seen before, so it can't just rely on memorization. And the result here? Well, it's nothing short of a breakthrough. GPT 5.2 hits 52.9%, almost doubling Gemini's score. This points to a really fundamental improvement in actual problem-solving ability.
But hold on, this fight is not over yet. Before we get to the next round, let's quickly define a super important term: multimodal AI. Basically, this is an AI's ability to seamlessly understand and work with all sorts of different data: text, pictures, audio, video, all at the same time. And this is where the momentum of the fight is about to shift.
And here we go. Round 4, multimodal and video understanding. And it's a clear, decisive win for Gemini 3 Pro. On the big MMU Pro benchmark, it scores a full 5 points higher. And when it comes to understanding video, well, Gemini is just in a league of its own. This is Gemini's home turf, no question about it. And Gemini's comeback continues in round 5, context window. Think of this as the AI's short-term memory, how much info it can juggle at once. And Gemini 3 Pro's 1 million token window is just massive. It's 2.5 times bigger than GPT 5.2's. That means it can analyze an entire book, a huge codebase, or a giant stack of research papers all in one go. For some jobs, that is an unbelievable advantage. So, benchmarks are super important, but they don't tell the whole story, right? So now we're going to go beyond the numbers and look at a hands-on test from a developer who put both of these models through their paces on some actual practical coding projects. And these weren't simple little hello world tasks either. The challenges were pretty complex: a music visualizer, a real-time collaborative editor, and even an image filter engine powered by WebAssembly. These are tough, multi-step projects that really test the quality of what the AI can produce. And this quote from the developer really gets to the heart of it. While both models could actually get the tasks done, Gemini's code was more like a rough draft. GPT 5.2, on the other hand, gave back code that was way more complete.
better structured, and a lot closer to something you could actually ship to users without needing tons of cleanup.
So, after 5 rounds of benchmarks and a real-world coding gauntlet, it's time for the tale of the tape. Let's boil everything we've just seen down into a clear side-by-side summary of what each of these champions does best.
So for GPT 5.2, the story is all about professional precision. It absolutely dominates in knowledge work, in coding, and in that abstract reasoning we talked about. It's also way more reliable. We're talking 30% fewer errors than its predecessor, and it's surgically precise when it has to use external tools. It's a precision instrument, plain and simple. Now for Gemini 3 Pro, the story is about scale and media. That massive context window is a total game changer for huge documents. Its native multimodal design makes it the undisputed king of video and audio analysis. And it's also better at what's called long-horizon agentic planning, basically planning and carrying out complex multi-step tasks over time. It is a multimedia workhorse.
And all of this brings us to the final, most important round, choosing your champion. Based on everything we've just gone over, how do you decide which one to use? Well, the answer really depends on what job you need to get done. So let's make it super simple.
You should absolutely choose GPT 5.2 if your work is all about coding and software development, if you're doing professional knowledge work like writing reports and doing analysis, or for any application where avoiding errors is just critical. And if you're trying to solve weird, new, abstract problems, this is your tool.
On the flip side, you're going to want to pick Gemini 3 Pro if your projects involve a mix of video and audio. If you have to chew through massive documents or code bases, Gemini is your huckleberry. Or if your tasks need an AI agent to perform a bunch of steps over a long period, Gemini is the one, especially if you're already living in the Google ecosystem.
So what's the final verdict? Who won the fight? Well, it's a context-dependent tie. There's no single universal winner here. GPT 5.2 has definitely reclaimed the crown for text-based professional work in coding. But Gemini 3 Pro is still the undisputed champion of all things multimodal and massive scale. The best model is simply the one that fits your workflow.
And that just leaves us with one final, kind of mind-blowing thought. We just watched the title of Best AI change hands twice in a single month. The pace is just relentless. So the real question isn't just who's the champion today, but what groundbreaking new capability, something we might not even be measuring yet, is going to define the next